Hi, we're making feta today. This is another in the series of cheese making tutorials. So sit back, relax and watch how we make feta, which is normally a goat's cheese, but because I don't have any goats around here, I've chosen to use cow's milk. And what we actually add to make it taste like goat's milk is an enzyme called lipase, and you'll see me adding that in as we go along. Alright, sit back, relax and enjoy. Okay, the first thing we add to the milk is the lipase. So what I've done, I've diluted that 1/4 teaspoon of lipase with 60 ml of boiled cold water. I'm just going to stir that in. And lipase is normally in goat's milk. It's normally found there, it's an enzyme. But because I'm using cow's milk today, I'm simply adding that in. Now, there's only 4 litres of milk here for the feta. And once that's thoroughly stirred, I'll bring that up to temperature and we'll go from there. So that's stirred. Bring the double boiler up to boil and then we'll come back to it. And as that's slowly coming up to the heat, one thing I forgot to put in was the calcium chloride, because I'm using a homogenised milk. And we're at 20 degrees at the moment, so we'll just wait until that comes back up. Okay, the milk's come up to 30 degrees, as it says per the recipe. Now we have to add the starter culture, so we're using mesophilic culture this time. And we're adding a heaped smidgen, which is about 1 gram or 1/32nd of a teaspoon. So stir that in. Okay, that's stirred, and then we put the lid on and we leave it for 1 hour. So see you back then. Okay, an hour's up. We'll just take the lid off and now we add the rennet. Stir. First of all, before I add the rennet, let's check the temperature. It's still at 30. Yep, fine. So stir that in. That's 2 ml of rennet diluted with 60 ml of boiled water that's been cooled down. Stir for a minute only, no longer. Not even a minute, that's enough. I'll put the lid back on and wait for another hour. Okay, an hour's up, and what we're going to do now is cut the curd, and we have to cut it into 1/2 inch cubes. So that's about 1 centimetre Alright, the curds is cut, and that calls for standing for 10 minutes just to set. Okay, that 10 minutes settling's up. As you can see, there's a fair bit of whey there. So let's, it now says stir for 20 minutes. Oh, some big ones in there. And I'll do that. Okay, the 20 minutes is up, as you can hear. Pouring this into cheesecloth lined colander. Gather it a bit, try and get a bit more whey out. Okay, there's a lot of whey in this, so we'll let that settle for a little bit. See how we go. Okay, now we've let that drain, and what I've done, I've got 2 square cheese baskets, as you can see, and I've lined them with chucks that are sterilised by boiling. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ladle the curd. It's drained a little bit, so it's a little bit firmer than before. It was very mushy, and I'll put half in each. That's probably about right for that one. Doesn't really matter how square it is. Okay, over. So I've never done this before, but I can tell. So this is all clean. So I'm going to fit that one into that one. Put that over there. And then I've got a 2 litre bottle of milk. It's not milk anymore. And I'm simply going to set that on top, and oops, I don't know if you can see that, and let that press for 4 hours and let the whey expel itself. You can see there's a square and a square, so I'll have 2 squares hopefully, and I'll just put that over there. See what happens in about 4 hours time. So after 4 hours, I've turned it once or twice, and this is what happens. Nice big piece of feta. It's lovely, isn't it? Now that was the 2 halves put together, and that's actually quite firm together now. And what I've got in here in the ice cream container is I made up some brine using 2 litres of water, 1/4 cup of salt, and 1/4 cup of vinegar. So I'll put that in there, and we'll leave it for 2 or 3 days. Put that in the fridge, and that will salt up the feta, and it'll be ready to eat in, like I said, about 2 to 3 days. Oh, thank you. Okay, as you can see here, here's the feta in brine, and the brine is not as cloudy as it normally is because, as I mentioned before, I added vinegar into the brine mixture, and that helps the cheese actually keep its form. You can see there's the 2 bits that are joined together from the mould, because I just couldn't fit it into one mould, so I put it into 2 to start with and then joined it together. And that's held together quite well, and I dare say in 2 or 3 days when I cut into it, It's going to taste absolutely delicious. Thanks very much for watching my feta tutorial. The next thing that has to be done is that you put it into the fridge in the brine mixture for 3 to 4 days, and then you can cut it up and eat it. It's a very simple process, you can see, just a long wait times in between putting in the culture and the rennet, but there's not much to do really after that. 20 minutes of stirring and you've got feta. It's a fantastic thing, and I found that the square moulds that I've used and the milk bottle to press it was very easy to use, so I'll be using those again. Thanks again, thanks for watching. Bye.